Oh, right.
Time for jazz.
This was happening. Just, gonna groove out here for a little bit. Nothing really takes the edge off that last scene, like...
Amakusa, could you turn that off?
No can do, babe. Contractually obligated. And by contractually obligated, I mean you signed it. Whoops, not bad. You don't like Mzaki?
That's one of the artists that's on the soundtrack.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm just not in the mood. We've been listening to the Umineko soundtrack all day.
Well, funny thing about that. Amakusa turned the radio off. So, unanswered questions, we still don't know what it was she saw.
Yeah? We sure don't.
The world of cheery sounds was immediately swallowed up by the roar of the sea, and blotted out by the ocean's gray. Anyway, I'm still gonna, like, dance. Is that cool?
Yeah, go ahead.
Gotta work on my moves. Oh, can you... Wait, what voice did we give this guy?
It's a mystery.
We
gotta do it live.
Can you see it? I have no idea what voice I gave him. Over there's where the harbor was at the time. The boat captain pointed, but I couldn't really recall the scene of 12 years ago. I thought I'd surely be able to immediately... You narrate this part, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I do.
We're 98 now. We're so good about being consistent. To be fair, Umineko never tells you who's narrating, so it's like, yeah, but still.
The boat captain pointed, but I couldn't really recall that scene of 12 years ago. I thought I'd surely be able to immediately remember how things had been at the time. But no memories came back to me. After that incident, the island was sealed off and left to the wild. I couldn't satisfy myself with the thought that this was just inevitable, and it felt sad and painful for some reason. But I at least remember one thing. You might say that it'd probably be the same anywhere on the sea, but I remember at least one thing. The cries of the seagulls. I do remember those.
Hey, you doing a title drop in there?
When I was young, I rarely went to the ocean. So everything that symbolized the ocean meant Rokkenjima and a family gathering to me. In short, it was a symbol for the happiness of going out with my family. However, at this point in time, it seems doubtful whether that even was happiness. In my younger days, the trip had felt like a relaxed family vacation, but considering my parents' situation at the time, it was surely a very difficult trip to handle, with the distribution of the inheritance filling the place with the smell of gunpowder. Come to think of it, I'm amazed that everyone didn't already die then, with all that gunpowder.
With all the literal gunpowder. Yeah.
I can remember giggling all over the place, completely ignorant of my parents' feelings.
Oh, yeah, we still have the big cage of gunpowder right over here if you want to take a look.
Actually, yeah, that will come in handy.
A little moist, but yeah. Rokkenjima, huh? The place of all beginnings and the end of the line for all journeys.
Is it, though?
Well, I mean, the band journey met their fate here. So that's at least one journey that... There's at least one journey. I guess don't stop believing, though, if you really... You can try to hold on to that feeling if you want. Amakusa.
Attempt to speak from my innermost feelings. Tried to sound cool.
You know what they say, that wheel in the sky keeps on turning, don't it?
The boat slowly rounded the island.
Not a boomer. Actually, several people in this game are boomers. It's okay.
I hoped that viewing it at a different angle might bring back my memories of the island's silhouette at the time, just a little. But in the end, even when that inlet was hidden completely by cliffs, I wasn't able to remember anything. Captain, please tell me about that other harbor you mentioned. Oh, there's two of them.
Oh
there's
God.
two fucking harbors.
Sure.
Called
Rokkenjima supposedly only has one harbor, but that's only for public appearances.
On the back of the island, there's another hidden harbor.
Oh, come on. You telling me that they never took out a leisure cruise around the island at least once? Ah.
Like Rokkenjima itself. It has a second face, which no one knows about.
Rokkenjima is an island owned by the Ushiromi family, but it has another face as an island owned by Kinzo-san personally.
So this island has 2 harbors and 2 mansions, huh? You sure spent a lot just to keep a mistress.
Who knew about this other harbor?
Very few. Kinzo-san, the butler, Genji-san. Those of us involved in boats, and a very small number of the oldest servants. Both the previous owner of the Nanjo clinic and that Kumasawa-ba-san knew.
What the fuck?
So that's why Nanjo also knew about the... That fits, because Nanjo knows way more than we expected.
Yeah, and it's weird that Kumasawa does as well.
Apparently
but
that's
also,
just a factor of her having been there for a very long time. It just...
Maybe.
Because they said specifically it was a very small number of the oldest servants.
Yeah.
But basically there was a small number of people who knew.
Please, tell me about that other mansion.
I was only told that there was a mansion called Kuwadorian. Since I wasn't allowed to leave the boat, I never saw it, not even once.
So it's far enough away that you couldn't see it from the harbor, huh?
I don't know. But it was a hidden mansion after all. It was probably built where you couldn't see it from the outside. Anyway, Kuwadorian was the biggest secret of that island.
There's a theory that Beatrice lived in Kuwadorian or else was confined there. What do you think, Captain?
I did sometimes carry miscellaneous goods to Kuwadorian, and that included a lot of stuff that only women would use, and expensive stuff at that. I'm also convinced that theory is true.
That mean you never saw Beatrice directly, Captain?
Nope, but I can tell you her cup size. I know, it's strange, right? But it's true. It's a true fact. Came and went for about 20 years, and I never saw her once.
20 years? Whoa, that means she was at least 20 plus. Looks like she wasn't some mademoiselle.
It's a really creepy thing you just said. I want you to know that, buddy. But one day, bang, all coming and going to and from Kuwadorian suddenly stopped. That was about 30 years ago, so around Showa 43, or 1968, I think.
Bang!
So we do know that Beatrice existed on the island, lived there, and is dead at the start of the game.
What's the red truth about when she died? Does that line up with this?
Yeah, because that was a red truth that took place outside of the 2-day window.
Was there a...
And there was a red truth that she had died. I don't remember exactly how it was phrased, but she is dead when the events of the game take place.
Do we remember what the thing was that had the red truths in order?
Someone commented on one of the videos a while back, but... There you go.
Okay.
You mean suddenly?
Well, we came to the hidden side on a set schedule to carry food and trash back and forth. You know, take what you bring with you and all that. Alright, the hidden side's what we would have called the harbor linked to Kuwadorian.
The hidden side. I wonder if anyone has used the phrase hidden side before. That's gotta have come up. I get it. So
this absolutely lines up with the timeline.
Yeah.
In 1967, Beatrice existed, and Beatrice is now dead.
Yeah.
That would put her as she definitely existed up to just before 30 years ago.
Yep, that all lines up.
One day we got an urgent message from Genji-san. Said that until we heard differently, there was no need for us to go to hidden side anymore.
And did you hear differently?
Not really. Long story short, one day I was suddenly told they wouldn't need regular service to the hidden side anymore, and that I didn't have to take food there either. First I thought I was being fired, but I quickly figured out, going by the reactions of the servants who knew of Kuwadorian, I managed to guess somehow.
Beatrice died, and there was no longer any need to take food or people to care for her?
That's what I think. From that point on, I was never told to take a boat to the hidden side. However, after that, Genji-san came to see me face to face and got pushy, strongly urging me never to speak of anything related to the hidden side until I died.
So if that hidden mansion was abandoned for 20 whole years, why was Aunt Ava there?
Could be where the
gold is.
Yeah. On that day...
On that day 12 years ago.
You're gonna have to be faster. If you jump in before I do, then I...
Ushiromiya Ava somehow escaped harm alone in a hidden mansion, 2 kilometers away from the mansion.
Oh, it's a bit of a hike.
Why was she in a hidden mansion that had been forgotten for 20 years?
I saw on the talk shows. Even I don't have a clue what happened. Not once did I guide Eva-san to the hidden side. I have no idea how or why she knew about or reached Kuwadorian.
I wonder if it was possible to reach this hidden Kuwadorian by land.
If, as we heard, the forest was dense and uncultivated. I seriously doubt a well-dressed lady person to be able to bush crash it.
So what about by sea? Maybe there was a motorboat or something.
Are you kidding? That 2-nighter typhoon was awful. No way you could have used a boat.
So what if there was an underground passage or something between the mansion and Kuwadorian?
Very pointedly using this background we've only seen once before.
Indeed.
While they were escaping presumably Kuwadorian.
Yeah. Wouldn't it have been a pain to have to charter a boat each time he wanted to visit his mistress's house?
Right, and they said they came up out of a well. You mean a tunnel long enough to connect mansions on opposite sides of a 2-kilometer island like Rokkenjima? Well, I'd like to laugh at the thought, but this rich guy made a whole hidden mansion just for his mistress. Guess I can't deny the possibility. What do you think, Captain? I don't know why. I don't know why his characterization is now this, but
I am a man and a she. I don't know about holes.
Can I hear that one again?
I don't think that hole is very doable, if you ask me.
Bringing you the fresh whole contents that you crave.
No, I hate that I'm now known for whole memes. Well, we on the channel here at APR I do like whole.
But the Japanese military dug a 25-kilometer tunnel on Iwo Jima. Wouldn't surprise me if that Kinzo-san could dig at least 2 kilometers.
There really is something wrong with this island.
Like, what was it before? Like, do we know anything about what Rokkenjima was before it was owned by the Ushiromiyas?
I think avoided by people and unpopulated.
Okay, avoided by people I could get. Like, unpopulated though? Really? Like, no one used it for anything before that?
Oh. Even now, not one of us really knows a thing about it.
Oh, I got to be on screen with everyone that time. That was pretty cool. You sure don't want me to be part of the story?
I think you'll find you are part of the story in
What?
Chapter 4.
What?
Anyway, the boat reached the shore. They would have to walk a short ways to reach the mansion.
I'll wait here. The mansion's that way. The path from back then's probably still there, but I bet it's covered with plants. Make sure you don't get lost.
Right, let's go.
Thanks for everything, Amakusa.
No problem.
You wait here too.
Well, I had a feeling you'd say that.
I'm just delivering something. It'll be troublesome for them if you come too.
For them?
I imagine your toxin is strong.
Toxin? Ho-ho!
I'll be back soon.
How'd you know I was drunk on the job?
Today, our main goal is Kuwadorian.
Are they landing at Kuwadorian here? Because we saw the background that where they landed one time, and it was one time prior, and it was when Rosa had supposedly gone to Kuwadorian and encountered Beato.
Mm-hmm. They are going to the regular mansion.
Okay, never mind then. Probably just using a cool background then.
Yeah. After I deliver this, I'll come right back.
Angie put on her knapsack,
Holding the flowers she would offer.
Thank you.
Give her some space, youngin'. See you soon, little lady. Your family's waiting for you. They're all dead, and you'll join them.
Oh, wow.
I had never been on a road like this, but I had no trouble finding my way.
And the music is reprising the main theme.
If I walked straight ahead, it would probably guide me to the final destination for everything. No items.
Stop this.
Fox only.
Oh, fox only.
It was true that the vegetation was incredibly thick, and if I didn't pay attention, I would lose track of the path. But the road that was left was much clearer than I'd guessed it would be. Still, that didn't change the fact that it was a bad road. Contrary to the distance shown on the map, I was forced to walk a long way. The forest was deep and dark. At the time, I had been threatened into staying away from the forest because a witch lived there. Of course, that fear is gone now, but I feel it. Because I was me, I could feel the presence, like an aura, of the Golden Witch, Beatrice. Here and there were massive, fallen lumps of rock along with overgrown trees and ivy. And the voices of birds and bugs? Yeah, I feel it. I feel that the witch is here. Ahead, an ivy-covered construction site fence and warning sign stood. No entry, Tokyo Metropolis. That was written on it. Yeah, that's right. When you think Tokyo, you tend to think of a city, but Rokkenjima is also located within the Tokyo Metropolis. Apologizing to the sign for my rude mistake, I climbed the fence. When I crossed the steep slope beyond that, my field of vision rapidly expanded, and a fresh sea breeze blew through my hair. It was like the top of a little hill. Below me was a vast view of the island. I could only see desolated forest and rock walls spread out below me, but I realized that the mansion was probably somewhere around there. The steep downward slope beyond this hill had probably been caused by earth and rocks collapsing from 12 years of wind and rain. It had become a slant filled with crags that you might even call gentle cliffs, and it would be easy to tumble down, though it looked like climbing back would be pretty difficult.
Like if you were a young Rosa.
What?
Remember when young Rosa encountered Beato at the Hidden Mansion?
Yeah.
And Beato fell off a cliff and died?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
In any event, it seems that proceeding any further would be impossible. If I continued any further, I wouldn't be able to return. In other words, this is the border. This place is 1986 and 1998. And it is that day and today, the boundary between this world and Nirvana. This spot smells like Teen Spirit, it seems.
No. Perhaps Penny Royalty.
Got him. This spot is this journey's final destination, it seems. As the strong winds blew Mammon's and Sakutaro's hair, they looked down from the hilltop.
From here, I can't really tell. Where's the mansion? Let's get closer.
That's impossible. We won't be able to come back.
We won't be able to come back. Is that it? I see. This is 1998, and I am the Ushiromiya Angie who has been left all alone. At first, this was a journey to die, but not anymore. It's become a journey to accomplish something. Yeah. So, I'm sorry, you two. Although, as I was back then on that day, I would have gone down that cliff without any hesitation.
Come on, this kind of sucked for the skyscraper jumping Ushiromiya Angie.
Sorry. This place... Wait, who's talking?
Oh, this place is as good as any. After all, you can feel the wind of that day.
Was the wind really like this?
Yeah! Very soon they'll come. Everyone. Sakutaro said it as though
it was completely natural.
Thank you. It's hard because
And
we're on Rokkenjima
I
again.
believed it.
It's hard because we're on the island.
Dad. Mom. Oni-chan. All of my relatives and those fun servants. That was a weird choice of words, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'll think about that one. And Maria One-chan. It's me. It's Angie. I've come back. When I started my journey to expose the past of 12 years ago, my goal had been abstract and I hadn't understood. But now, I have no doubts. This journey was induced by several thoughts and fates over 12 years. A journey to reach an end for me, Ushiromiya Angie, and a journey to reach an end as the last witch of Mariage Sorcière. I came here as the last daughter of the Ushiromiya family, and as the last witch. Dad, Mom, Oni-chan. Sorry. Let me greet Maria One-chan first.
A
A strong tailwind urged me on.
It's so hard.
That tailwind took just my soul out from inside my body, to the vast forest beneath me.
So, I don't know if this is important or not, but a lot of the backgrounds we've been shown are ones that were shown very purposely, either near Kuwadorian or on the way to Kuwadorian.
Yeah.
So I wonder if she's going to end up there instead.
I don't know. And though from here on I couldn't see, I believed that it flew me to the mansion on that day, to where everyone was, to where Maria One-chan was. And so, even though my body was on the top of a hill, a strong wind blowing against me, my soul was now certainly dancing through that sky. The vast, vast sky of Rokkenjima. Below me was the green of many trees, but I understand. I can comprehend the presence of my family and relatives, and all the servants, and Maria One-chan too. I could even comprehend Maria One-chan as a witch. It was vast, more so than any vast space I had imagined up until now. Maria One-chan, can you hear me? Listen. Angie called to the Maria of that day. She told her of the long journey she'd undergone, of her long-delayed realization of just how much she'd wounded Maria in her youth. She understood magic, and now understood everything about the world Maria had wanted to show her. It was very warm, overflowing with love and happiness. She wanted to become even happier by sharing that world, but I trampled it. So now, I finally understand everything. I understand magic. Our magic is surely very faint and fills the space beside us, but it isn't something that anyone can see with their eyes. Magic is... yes, I can say it clearly. Without love, it cannot be seen. Sorry, One-chan. I've already been excommunicated from the Alliance of Witches. But now I understand how wonderful it is. And I know that, after the day I wounded you, Mariage Sorcière was transfigured into something different from what you truly desired. Even the magic that spat anger by cursing people was probably important to One-chan in those days. One-chan's environment was sad enough to permit that. But now, those sad days are over. So, let's return One-chan's Alliance of Witches back to the original Mariage Sorcière. The grimoire was in my hands before I realized it. The strong winds were rapidly blowing its pages, one after another. That world had been kind in the beginning. How could you give birth to magic that would make candy fall from the sky? How could you give birth to magic that would make tomorrow's dinner creme croquette? How could you give birth to magic that would make the weather good when you went out the next day, making your whole day fun? New spells of happiness were created one after another, coloring her world with kindness. Those days were flipped through, one after another, and months began to flash by. The pages with drawings that had once been colorful gradually began to change into the color of black ink. Eerie magic circles and demon summonings, evil magic for harming people. How could you give birth to magic that would cause the class bully to catch a cold? How could you give birth to magic that would seriously injure someone in class so that they died? How could you give birth to magic that would cause a bus loaded with all the bullies to fall off a cliff? Malicious spells were created one after another, burying the pages and her heart. Because I heard One-chan, Mariage Sorcière ended up like this. One-chan isn't a black evil witch. She was a white, pure, innocent, kind witch. I'll return it to how it was. I'll bring back the original Maria One-chan, the one who scattered magic to make people happy across the entire world. That's the reason I came here. I was guided by fate. Maria One-chan, can you hear me? Show yourself before me. That voice rode an even stronger wind and was sent 12 years into the past. Then, the wind gradually ceased, and silence fell. Crunch, crunch. I could hear the sound of gravel being stepped on. I listened to those footsteps, surprised at this miracle. Without a doubt, those were Maria One-chan's footsteps. Maria One-chan?
It's Kasumi. Like, who did you expect it to be, bitch? Of course it's me. Looks like I finally found you, eh, Angie-chan?
Before I knew it, Aunt Kasumi and her black suits, a total of 7 people, who didn't resemble Maria One-chan in the slightest, were standing there, surrounding me. And it felt like my voice had been just about to reach Maria One-chan too. Because of these guys' toxin, that magic was cut off. Angie clicked her tongue at that, but Kasumi probably didn't hear it that way.
Huh. Are those flowers for your deceased family? How admirable. You're going to throw them, right? Go ahead. We'll wait for that long.
Just what are you waiting for? But Angie could more or less guess. The way the black suits unnaturally stuck their hands into their pockets clearly brought to mind the likelihood that they had handguns. This is a deserted island. There could be no more convenient place to dispose of someone. I have absolutely no interest in the family matters of the Sumidera family, but if I die, all that wealth will go to them. Unlike me, they're probably very interested and concerned about this matter. Of course, it seems that if the massive amounts of stock I own suddenly go to them, it'll be pretty bad for the Ushiromiya group as well, and they're apparently having a secret feud, fighting over me all by themselves. That's probably why President Okanogi gave me Amakusa as a guard. Having Amakusa wait on the boat was a regrettable mistake. Aunt Kasumi, how long have you been waiting for this ambush?
Since early morning. Thanks to that, I'm completely tired of waiting. After all, there are no cafes or dressing rooms here.
No toilets either, so I guess you had to elegantly drop a load behind a tree. Ah.
A lady with half Sumadera blood flowing through her veins will not use such filthy words. You really are Sumadera Kyrie's child, not a trace of grace.
She grabbed me by the hair and forced my face up to hers, and then spat at me. My words might be filthy, but they're no worse than her spit. Every time you talk to me, Aunt Kasumi, it's always about Mom. Am I really that much like my mother?
Yeah, you are. That impertinent gaze, your mouth and nose are the same too. Freewheeling and irresponsible. She thought nothing of the long history and tradition of the Sumadera family and selfishly flew out of the house. My entire life has been devoted to cleaning up that mess.
I guess your life really has been covered with crap.
Wait, how did she Sumadera Kyrie? Okay.
When I was slapped on the cheek, my ear was smashed, and for an instant my head rang. My hair was pulled, spinning me around, and I fell to the ground. And in a flash, the ground was kicked and I was struck with sand.
Yes, you truly are like Nesan. That gaze like you're mocking me somehow. Yes, I remember so many things.
Actually, I'm mocking you aloud. Did that not come across? Anyway, you're a sad person. I'll bet that since you were young, you always got compared to Mom and scorned. And for your entire life, you'll never be released from that wretchedness.
A little girl like you couldn't possibly understand. You see, your mother is a loser who threw everything away and ran away from the Sumadera family, right? Do you know how much trouble I went through because of that loser?
Any trouble you went through has nothing to do with me. Sorry, but what am I supposed to do about something that happened before I was born? When will your life begin? It never will. For all eternity, you'll always continue to be sneered at by my dead mother until you die. If only you'd just die. Why are you living?
You little piss. You all make her some tea.
Leave it to us.
You big-mouthed shitty brat. Let us teach you a little lesson.
The black suits dashed up to me, violently grabbed me by the nape of the neck, and dragged me down.
Do whatever you want to her until my break is over. Teach my cute niece her place.
Sumadera Kasumi. When I think about it, she was a pitiable person. To the outside world, women of the Sumadera family were trained to be in a position that supported and deferred to men. But in actuality, strong leadership was required from them so that they could manage all the common people. The role demanded of them really was that of a female commander, like a literal reading of the word Okami. Managing the Sumadera family with all its traditions was not something that could be accomplished with just an ordinary level of dignity. It was an unimaginably heavy responsibility. Normally, this would have been demanded of Kyrie. Kyrie had undergone that harsh training, and Kasumi, as the younger sister, should have been able to take it easy. No, on the contrary, she had lived like a lazy, selfish, and affluent princess, sneering at Kyrie, who had been given the heavy responsibility. However, Kyrie had suddenly been disinherited. She had refused the fiancé her parents had arranged, and had gotten pregnant by her lover, Ushiromiya Rudolph. From the Sumadera's perspective, even though the Ushiromiya family held a vast fortune, it was a low-level family that had already collapsed. And to become not even a legal wife, but a mistress to the second son of that family?
Wait, no.
What?
No, I thought that was something else. No, George, of course. Okay.
What?
I thought that was them hinting that there was another child before Battler within Rudolph's family. That's what, because we had been talking about that previous episode. But nope, second son of the Ushiromi family.
Normally, a daughter of the main family would be shown no mercy for such dishonor. They would wrap her up in a mat, place a pole on end, and throw her either into the Pacific Ocean if the pole fell to the right, or the Sea of Japan if it fell to the left. But Kyrie's punishment ended with disinheritance, an unbelievably warm-hearted decision. After that, the Sumadera family began receiving favorable treatment from a section of the Ushiromiya group. There must have been some kind of backroom deal. In other words, Kyrie openly left the Sumadera family under the pretense of gaining financial support from the Ushiromiya family. Kasumi had watched it all happen in shock. No, she even disparaged her dishonorable sister as a loser, but eventually, she realized that the heavy responsibilities Kyrie had borne would be passed on to her. And then, for the first time, she saw that she'd been outwitted.
Because of your mother, my life was ruined. No, you could even say she killed me once. On that day, I was killed once and thrown into a hellish life.
Isn't that what you get for making light of life until then?
Ugh. Don't you ever stop talking, girl? Ah!
The black suit punched me in the gut, and I doubled over.
I realize I'm giving the black suits
her voice, but whatever.
But I was quickly grabbed by the nape of the neck and made to stand up again. Kasumi cold-heartedly looked down at me, smoking a cigarette. The painful days after Kyrie had left were floating through her mind. Until then, she had been allowed to be a simple lady, freewheeling and naive. Only the older sister, Kyrie, had been harshly trained, and she, the younger sister, had been able to live as nothing more than a princess. Then suddenly, her life got turned upside down.
Thank you.
And her life came crashing down. My life...
My
Fuck.
life? Oh no, you better not have given that goddamn curse to me. My life, my lifestyle, and the way I lived were all stolen from me. Do you know how much I was derided by those relatives who didn't know the details? All because of my sister's dishonor? I detested her. I detested your mother enough to make me spit blood.
Glad to hear it. Keep up the good work. Ugh! A kick landed in Angie's side as she crawled on the ground. Angie didn't stand up again, so she continued to lie there like a caterpillar as she was kicked each time she spoke up.
I saw Nay-san at Ushiromiya group party once. She was with her husband, looking very happy and laughing. She pushed everything onto me and found happiness only for herself.
So what? How is taking it out on me gonna make you happy? Will taking it out on me turn back time and change history or something? Ugh!
You said something a short while ago. When will my life start? No matter how much I despise you or take out my frustrations on you, I can't turn back time. So I must keep hating my sister, even though she's gone, until I die? You've got to be kidding me. How long will I have to be tormented by my sister's ghost? So, I thought of something. If I could accomplish one thing, I'd be able to forget all of my hatred and start over.
Angie was about to lash back out at her, but stopped, because she'd be kicked again if she responded. Even if Kasumi didn't say anymore, Angie had a pretty good idea what she meant. Kasumi thought that by taking revenge against Kyrie's daughter, Angie, she'd be able to put an end to her hatred. Talk about pushing your problems onto other people.
Come on, stand up. If you like this island that much, I'll bury you deep in it. You don't want to die at your age, right? Don't you feel like saying, sorry, my mother caused you so much trouble, or something?
Who'd say something like that? Ugh.
Angie! Angie-sama, no, you mustn't provoke them. You should at least make it seem like you're going along with them so you could buy some time.
They often say that you should throw your foolish pride out with the garbage.
This is like that advice I gave you that one time, when you were being bullied that one time, remember that? That worked out so well for you. Oh, what about Amakusa-san? If Amakusa-san comes, I'm sure. It's no use, I can't see him. You idiot, Angie-sama. Why'd you leave Amakusa behind?
I didn't need Mammon to tell me. I was seriously regretting it already. I walked a long way. The forest was very thick. I've got no doubts that signs of activity here won't reach the boat. During the time it took for Kasumi to finish casually smoking a whole cigarette, I was continuously tormented by the black suits, as she had told them to. The moment I grabbed at my head, my scalp was kicked by someone at a bad angle, and my head was filled with stars. The feeling of stars flickering in this gray, twisted world was one I remembered clearly. My life was very similar to the one Sumidera Kasumi led. After all, as the successor to the Ushiromiya family, I was tormented constantly with various kinds of bullying, under the guise of education and training. Yes, having the inside of my head filled with stars like this is a feeling I know well. When being reprimanded for some error in manners I seemed to have made, the discussion always turned to whether I was fitting to be the successor or not. On and on about the honor of the Ushiromiya family and how deep that was. By the time the conversation reached that point, I'd forget what mistake I was being blamed for in the first place. What a face.
That is a face. God damn.
No, in fact, it was the same for Aunt Ava. After all, sometimes she'd ask herself,
what was it again?
But in the end, she wouldn't be able to remember, and would say something like,
If I'm angry, it must be your fault, Angie. The fact that you're at fault is what matters, so who cares if I can't remember what it was you did?
There'd be some ridiculous reasoning like that, and then she'd keep on punishing me. Yes. Aunt Ava's punishment wasn't something that would continue until I learned something, or acknowledged my mistake, or apologized. It would continue until Aunt Ava wanted to stop. So this violence was a bit nostalgic, in a way that made me want to vomit. I opened my eyes, and look, there's Aunt Ava. Right next to Kasumi, who's smoking a cigarette. I can see Aunt Ava, almost as though the two of them are laughing together. When I think about it, even Aunt Ava's life might be a thing worthy of my sympathy. The responsibility and pressure of being a member of the Ushiromiya family, which she often mentioned to me, had probably caused her great pain. After all, people can't make insults that they've never been the targets of themselves. It was probably the same for Aunt Rosa as well. As the youngest child of the Honorable Ushiromiya family, she must have gone through many tough times. So it was just like what Aunt Ava did to me. Just like what Sumadera Kasumi is doing now. Aunt Rosa must have been the same. People tend to push the pain they're burdened with onto other people. Otherwise, they can never escape from that pain. So on, in eternity and perpetuity, this chain of pain and sadness does not end. That's why Maria One-chan's magic was so incredible. With her magic, she didn't have to bear the pain caused by Aunt Rosa. The pain probably was pushed onto her. Its weight probably tormented her. But One-chan didn't carry that burden on her own shoulders. She purified it, and filled her world with happiness. So I'm sure, if Maria One-chan had had children in the future, she probably wouldn't have pushed the pain that had been forced on her onto her children. That chain of pain and sadness that stretched back for who knows how long, which she couldn't understand, and which she had inherited, which had been forced onto her, Maria One-chan cut it with her magic.
What's wrong? Got a bone to pick with me?
In the past, I would have snapped back. I would have met her hatred with hatred so that they'd cancel each other out. No, nothing got canceled out. The thing being forced on me ended up right there on my shoulders. Just like how even now I hate her. So now that I know of magic, I'll look at the human called Ushiromiya Ava again. What I could see through to was a sad human form, no different from me, who had lost her family and who bore deep wounds in her heart. Unable to withstand the pain of that torn heart, she was doing nothing more than howl sadly, like a lion crying in pain, like a child. Even Ushiromiya Ava was someone I should have felt compassion for. She needed someone to understand the difficulties and pain of her childhood years. Even she, who was the only survivor of the Rokkenjima crime, who was faced with the curiosity of all of society, who was publicly slandered and forced to have salt continuously flung into the wound, had needed someone's compassion. In order to let Ava forget her pain and sadness at least a little, the Black Witch taught her magic, just like the times it had possessed Aunt Rosa. It was the same magic of anger and sadness that Beatrice had taught Maria One-chan when she was mourning for her torn-apart friend, Sakutaro. that same magic, that witch, had probably dwelled inside Aunt Rosa too. So I mustn't hate Ushiromiya Eva. Maybe I should have become her ally, as the only person in the world who could understand her. What did I say to her when I was young, when she returned alive all alone? Could it be that I acted as though she'd killed my family and returned on her own? I can't believe it. Aunt Eva, who has never been more than an object of and a synonym for hatred throughout my life, is turning into a human I can understand. So, I can see, right next to Aunt Eva, the form of the Black Witch who taught her the black magic.
You thought I was gone from this game, didn't you?
Aunt Eva was crying. It was only natural. Not only was no one willing to understand the pain of losing her husband and son at once, but her only relative had insulted her, saying, "Give me back my dad and mom." I can make the excuse that I was merciless because of my youth. However, to her at the time, it had probably been cruel enough to sever the last thread in her heart. In the following days, the talk shows and magazines publicly slandered her. The truth of her husband's business and character, and even her beloved son, were negated. She no longer had anything left. She could do nothing but cry and howl, trying to forget the pain and sadness at least for a while. After all, she could only feel a tiny bit of release, and only during the time that she howled. And so, the Black Witch taught her how to howl. The one I hated was the Black Witch. Black magic can probably release one from that pain for an instant. However, it never lifts that weight from a person's shoulders. On the contrary, it forces that weight onto further victims, filling the world with hatred. If only Aunt Eva knew of white magic and had a true witch nearby. Shouldn't that have been me? Didn't I learn the magic to create happiness from Maria One-chan? If I'd taught her with that magic, could we have built a future with a completely different relationship? Up until now, I've hated Aunt Eva constantly, so I didn't notice the Black Witch beside her. Without love, it could not be seen. I didn't have any love for her. So now, finally, I'll glare at the Black Witch, the one I truly should hate.
Ow! What's this? You can see me?
I see you. The one I should have hated wasn't Aunt Eva, it's you.
Whoa, awesome. Think a lowly human could see a witch like me. So, are you trying to say something with that glare? Do you hate me?
Hate? Yes, I do. But that's not quite it. I just think you're sad.
Sad? What are you saying? Come on, go ahead. Why not hate me as much as you want?
I won't hate. Hating you means I'm doing nothing more than inheriting Aunt Eva's hatred. I'll put a stop to hatred. I'll accept Aunt Eva's pain, purify it, and throw it away.
What kind of epiphany do you think you've had? Is your head alright? Seriously, if only just give up and die. You guys kick her more and more, okay? Not her face, though, because it'd be boring if her pitiful face got any better.
Ugh. The black suits persistently kicked my stomach and back, as though they had been ordered to by the Black Witch.
My. Are you still not suffering after all of that? You just keep staring right at me. Do you hate me? I'll bet you do. Same here.
Kasumi sneered at me, but for some reason I had the feeling that she was crying behind that expression. Just like me, the pain of being forced into an unreasonable life would never, ever heal. The sad lion, gasping in pain from the thorn he can't get out, continues to howl.
Hey, Sumadera Kasumi, take a look over there. It's you as you used to be. Don't you feel better now? You used to be standing there, but now you're on this side, right? Isn't it great? Don't you like having the roles switched? Yes, it really is. Great. How can you make that kind of face, Angie? Go on, cry. You want to, right? Yes, of course she wants to cry. Make her cry. Didn't someone make you cry back then? So make her cry too. You too, Angie. Why don't you just break down and cry? Cry, Angie. I want to see your crying face. Cry and try saying, I'm sorry, Aunt Kasumi. Yes, make her say those words. Aren't those words painful? Isn't being made to apologize for something that isn't your fault just the worst pain? Make her feel the same way. By doing that, you can relieve your pain. Yeah, that's it. Be a little more honest with yourself, okay? If only just let your emotions run free once more, and more, and more.
The Black Witch provoked Kasumi, and Kasumi began to give herself over to that dark emotion. By turning deep sadness into an evil alcohol and forcing it down, trying to forget it just for an instant, nothing would change. The words Kasumi insulted me with were themselves sad, and I couldn't forgive the Black Witch who had imposed that sadness on Kasumi. I had gone limp, which seemed to have stopped the black suit's kicking competition. Or maybe the kickers were getting tired too. Kasumi didn't order them to stop, but at some point they did. However, I was reflected in Kasumi's eyes, and they burned me with flames of hatred. She had been tempted by the witch to do that in order to relieve her own pain.
Sumadera Kasumi, you aren't done yet. You've got much more trampling to do, right? Can you forget what happened your entire life with just a little violence? I can't. I still can't forgive her with just this. Right? There's no way you can forgive her. Do it more. More of the flames of hatred. Nothing can warm you except the fires of hate. After being frozen in the snowfields of anger and sadness, the only flame that can warm you is hatred. Say it, okay? Scream it. If only you just burn yourself to ashes with a roar of hate. Shiromiya, Angie. I cannot live without hating you.
Sumadera Kasumi. Look at that bundle of flowers. Wait, who's talking?
Oh, that must be me. Oh no, not the curse. Sumadera Kasumi, look at that bundle of flowers. These flowers are for your dead family, right, Angie?
The Black Witch grinned at me unpleasantly, using her chin to signal Kasumi to pick it up. Kasumi picked up the flowers I was going to offer, brought them all the way over to me, dropped them, and made a show of trampling them. Her expression was filled with hatred, and a frantic quality that couldn't be explained with hatred alone. She trampled them over and over again, as though her sadness was reaching the bursting point. So the sound of her trampling it was just sad.
Oh, still not suffering yet. Then what about this? Sumadera Kasumi. Use this.
No, not that. The object the Black Witch pointed at was Maria One-chan's grimoire. Kasumi also noticed it and picked up that book, which was heavier than it looked.
What is this? Why not read it? You might fall over laughing, okay?
Kasumi opened the grimoire, skimmed over the contents, and snorted derisively. Give it back. That's One-chan's. Of course, my hand couldn't reach. My stomach was once again kicked by the black suits, and I doubled over.
See? This book's really important to Angie, right? Gotta belittle the things that are important to her, okay? That'll work better than punching or kicking for a girl like her. You know that better than anyone, don't you?
As though remembering something painful, Kasumi's face twisted for an instant. But that quickly disappeared, changing into a scornful smile directed at me.
Oh, what a creepy book. Did you write this?
Stop it. Give it back.
Look at that face. Belittle it more, belittle it more. Teach her the pain of having your dignity trampled. That's the only way to soften your own pain. What's with this embarrassing book? I'll admit I did have a little interest in fortune telling as a girl. But isn't this going a bit too far? Magic. You're one of those, aren't you? It's like in those cartoons, where a girl says something spell, and transforms into a witch, right? You like those, don't you? How pathetic.
Cackling, Kasumi opened to a random page and showed it to the black suits. The black suits looked too and guffawed. That sneer didn't wound me, but I couldn't forgive it. After all, that sneer was ridiculing Maria One-chan. I don't hate Kasumi, but for forcing that unhealing anger and sadness on Kasumi, I cannot forgive the Black Witch. That Black Witch ate into Aunt Ava, Sumidera Kasumi, and Aunt Rosa, tormenting them for an eternity without letting their wounds be healed. I can't forgive her. I can't forgive the Black Witch.
Wow, this is just great. Magic for making candy fall from the sky, you say? Oh, what's this? Sprinkle water cleansed by the sun with sugar, stick the magic staff in, and then an incantation. What the actual hell? It hurts. Oh.
The black suits were also rolling around, guffawing. What does Kasumi's new art look like? Can't remember if we've seen that.
We have.
Okay. Then, grinning, the Black Witch whispered something into Kasumi's ear.
Yay. After glaring
at me with a grin, Kasumi took that page. Kasumi grabbed hold of that page, tore it off, crumpled it up, and threw it away.
Ew, so cruel. That was Maria's magic. Oh, really? How sad.
It was one of the spells to summon happiness that Maria had made with Sakutaro. Anyone knows that making sugar water, coloring it, and leaving it by the window isn't going to make candy fall from the sky. But after repeating that every day, one time on her way home from school, she had found several pieces of candy scattered around. How happy must that miracle have made Maria One-chan? Didn't she treasure that candy, eating it during her night alone with Sakutaro to distract herself from her loneliness? That magic that Maria One-chan had given birth to had been torn and thrown away, and had disappeared. The whole miracle of happiness that magic had given birth to had been torn and thrown away.
Oh, this part here is great too. Magic to make tonight's dinner cream croquette. Oh, what's next? Magic to make bell peppers taste good. That's not bad either. So stupid. Dare that one too. Oh, if I just dare it more and more.
With a brutal, loud laugh, the Black Witch made Maria One-chan's spells get torn out one after another. Magic of happiness was sneered at, torn, and thrown away.
Stop it. Stop it. Don't defile Lady Maria's magic. Don't defile with your filthy toxin.
Mammon cried and yelled, but she had no way of reaching Kasumi.
Come on, why not defile it? Miracles of magic? Magic to bring happiness? No, no way. Nothing like that exists. Don't you know you can't heal pain and sadness without pushing it onto someone else? Hey, you also have that magic friend things, right? Sumidera Kasumi, open to that page. What's this? Magic friends. The Seven Sisters of Purgatory. What a creepy name. It says they can fly at awesome speeds and finish off the enemy. Oh, Angie, if you can use this kind of magic, shouldn't you use it right now? Foolish.
The page that wrote of the Seven Sisters of Purgatory was also heartlessly torn away. The page itself was just paper. It wasn't Mammon's vessel or anything. But the tearing, denying toxin burned Mammon from the inside. Mammon's face twisted from that heat and pain.
Yeah. Are you okay, Mammon? Hold on. This much is no problem. It's not me, but Angie-sama who's in pain.
However, Mammon's expression was twisted with unbearable anguish and humiliation.
Stop it, Black Witch! Why are you doing something like this? I can use magic for happiness! Oh, you're a magic friend too, right? Oh, I'll define you too. Sumadera Kasumi. Look for this guy's page too, okay? Oh, and what's this one? What's with this crappy little scribble of a lion? Sakutaro. What a weird name. My best friend, it says. Really? This is your friend? A close friend? This lion is? Is it? Is it? It really is a crappy scribble. This ugly lion is totally you. I think she had something like this as a friend. That Ushiromi Maria kid's mind is so pathetic it's embarrassing. What a joke. She's like a moron. If only she'd just give up and die. Don't make fun of Maria.
Stop it. Don't break it.
No way.
There was a shrill sound. The page had been filthily ripped out. The picture of Sakutaro that One-chan had drawn was violently ripped in half.
No. Sakutaro did nothing wrong. What a crappy picture. You all laugh too, okay?
A pair of the black suits laughed vulgarly and heartlessly trampled the two halves that had been torn and thrown away.
Sakutaro, hang in there. I'm not sad, I just can't stand it. I can't stand that Maria's being made fun of, and I can't do anything about it. To humans who can't see us, it's as though we don't exist. We can only interact with humans that need us. That's why we're furniture.
As Sakutaro and Mammon supported each other, they crouched down, sobbing. I couldn't stand it either. Those who can't see how wonderful the world of magic is can't understand it. You can't explain to humans who can't understand, so it gets belittled. If you could show them it, but you can't. Because in front of humans who are filled with the magic-resisting toxin, and who can't understand magic, magic cannot be used. I really don't get it. From this delusional diary, I've got to assume that something is wrong with your head. It really is fun to take a peek into your mind. You creepy child. Both you and Maria, and that stuffed animal and the furniture over there too, right? I could laugh. You don't have any friends, do you? You're always all alone. So stuffed animals are your friends? What a pitiable child. Don't worry. I understand. I know what it's like to live that way. So I'll accept it. You really are a pitiable child, right? To you, it probably would look like something made by a pitiful child. That's right. If 100 people were to read One-chan's diary, 100 people would probably think the same thing. I used to be like that too. But you know, despite all of that, Maria One-chan summoned a world of happiness. Don't deny that magic, that happiness.
Such a stubborn child you are. Very well. This is the last one. I'll tear apart the source of the truly foolish magic that you and Maria believed in. Someone, Kasumi, read this page, okay? Huh? Oh, what's this colorful page? What is this? Magic to always be friends with my beloved mother. No, stop it on that page. This magic's really simple, isn't it? It looks like even I could do it. Even I could remember an incantation this short. Shall I give it a whirl? No, because I know what it's going to be. Really is a short incantation, isn't it? Okay, give it a try. Let's have everyone spit it out. Oh, because I know what it's going to be.
With expressions that ridiculed it from the bottom of their hearts, the Black Witch and Kasumi tapered their mouths, and they said it aloud.
Ew.
The black suits stared blankly, asking what the hell that was supposed to be.
Fuck.
Then Kasumi answered, cackling.
This is supposed to be an incantation. Are you kidding me? Come on. What are you guys ready to? Ew, woo, 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 woo.
The black suits imitated that moaning voice, making fun of it. Ooh, ooh. That was the incantation for the magic that would let her always be friends with her beloved mother.
Are you fucking kidding me? What the hell? How stupid. If you could make family relationships better just by saying ooh woo woo, the world would always be peaceful. Oh. You woo 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 woo. A stupid moaning voice. Too bad if you do this over and over again. People think you're a pathetic, silly kid. Are you a moron? Stop it! Or at least don't belittle that magic.
It was the day of a picnic, when Maria One-chan and Aunt Rosa were alone. It was written that this was one of the top 5 happiest days of her life. One-chan was singing a song she'd just learned from her mama. Her mother had been delighted. But partway through, Maria forgot the lyrics. But since she saw that her mother was so happy, she tried to sing until the very end, with ooh, ooh, ooh. Even though she'd only pretended to know the lyrics, her mother had enjoyed it a lot.
No.
After that, ooh remained as an incantation to remember that day she'd spent in fun and happiness with her mother.
Oh, fuck.
Of course, even though she seemed to find it funny at first, Aunt Rosa eventually tired of hearing it, and eventually started scolding One-chan when she said it. But to One-chan it was a memory of a fun day that she'd never forget. So among the spells that Maria had created, it was the oldest and the first. Kasumi stuck her fingernails into that page too. Stop it. Don't tear it. At least spare that page.
No way.
With a shrill sound, a girl's world of happiness was erased.
Is this your magic of happiness? Hilarious! Hilarious! Oh, there's no way there could be magic to make you happy, right? Magic is made out of anger and hatred, right? Happiness is what you call the feeling of release you get only when you pushed all the hatred you bear onto other people. The happiness you all are talking about is a phantom that doesn't show up outside picture books.
As Kasumi laughed her head off, she slammed the grimoire against the ground and stepped on it.
You can't stand it? Hey, you can't stand it, right? You white witches of happiness? If you can't stand it that much, why don't you show us? Show us your magic. If it exists, then you just have to show us, right? A witch who can't use magic isn't a witch. That's why we're the real witches. You're just brats trying to escape reality with a dream.
Then, if I can show you magic, will you believe in One-chan's magic?
Yeah, huh? Yeah, sure. I'll believe. You can use magic and show me, that is. Let's see it, you stupid brat.
Silently, slowly, I stood up. Sensations of this cramped world, such as the pain in my body, felt truly trifling.
Oh, looks like you've still got enough energy to stand up, Miss Great Witch. Now that you stood up, what are you going to show us, huh? Show us some magic.
Magic exists.
What's this kid saying? Did you guys hear that? Silence. Oh, isn't that interesting? You people always refuse to show this power of miracles because of magic-resisting toxin. Disciple of the White Witch Maria. Let's see some magic. Do you have any clue how many humans believed in that miracle before being betrayed? Everyone believes. Everyone is betrayed and despairs, and they learn that true magic can only be gained by the power of black witches like me. Plus our outfits are cooler. Small perk.
Hitting someone with your hatred is nothing more than a sin. That isn't magic. I'll show you real magic.
You.
The Black Witch winced slightly. However, Kasumi sneered at me even more.
Oh, let's have a look. So what kind of magic will you show us? Magic to make candy fall from the sky, or else magic to make cookies multiply? What?
The instant I opened my eyes, a tremendous wind arose.
What is this all of a sudden?
Come, arise, the seven sisters of purgatory.
What?
There was a flash behind me, and in an instant, 7 pieces of high-level furniture were gathered there.
Just so happy to be here.
It was a power that far surpassed the magical strength I'd had in my prime. It was a power that matched even Maria One-chan and Beatrice.
The seven sisters of purgatory. Right here. Well, there's only 6 of us you can see, but, you know. Angie-sama.
You said it once. Because I lacked magical power and resolve, I couldn't use you or your sisters. This isn't some cheap emotion like wanting to get back at my bullying classmates. In order to protect Maria One-chan's, Mariage Sorciere's world, I now order you to show me the miracle of magic.
It's impossible. No matter what you try before such a massive toxin.
The seven sisters also remembered what had happened in that classroom. If they could have obeyed Angie's order, they would have. However, surrounded by the toxin that runs thick in humans, they hadn't been able to display the miracle of magic. And they remembered very well how deeply that had hurt Angie. But Angie spoke very quietly. In that case, you all believe too.
Huh?
Mariage Sorciere was created to bring people happiness, and also to fight the Black Witch, in order to show that miracle to the foolish Black Witch, who denies the world that one of the founders, the Witch of Origins, Lady Maria, gave birth to. And in order to protect that world, believe in magic, in witches, in miracles right now. When Kasumi gave an order to the black suits, one of them took out a gun and pointed it at Angie.
You'll show us magic, right? Then let's have it. Use magic to shoot this man down with a fireball, or lightning, or sleep, or something. You get 1 chance. Show us before I count to 3. Got it? If you can't, then you best prepare yourself, okay?
Shoot.
What's with this kid? She's lost it.
The black suit pointing the gun laughed at Angie's detached attitude.
Are you serious? This girl lost her mind. In that case, get yourself shot. If only you just die.
Hey, Angie, it's impossible. You can't block bullets with magic.
No. There's nothing to be afraid of. Compared to my magic, to the Seven Sisters of Purgatory, bullets are nothing.
Angie-sama.
Mammon was perplexed by Angie's absolute trust. If she could comply, she would have. On that day as well. but because she had been unable to do anything, she had hurt Angie.
You brat. You can just use magic. Let us have a look right now. What's wrong? We're telling you to show us magic, right? You man, no need to hold back, okay? Boom. Give me some magic. Yeah.
The black suits jeered at her, but Angie simply concentrated her mind in silence.
You know, you just shoot. She's even telling you to try to shoot you guys.
This kid's already lost her mind from fear. Goodbye, Angie-chan. Go and pretend to be a witch as much as you want in heaven. Fire. You sure? Fire. Die, Angie.
Yeah, you can do it. Let's give this magic of yours a try.
The black suit cocked the gun and, sneering, pulled the trigger. The sound of gunfire rang out, and the world stopped. A red spray scattered out, and chunks of flesh flew.
What are you doing, Mammon? Don't tell me you'd let a boorish pebble of a bullet like this reach Angie-sama.
Lucifer lined up the bullet perfectly, and with a single swing, sliced it. And in the chest of the black suit who had apparently fired the gun, was a hole as big as a fist.
Every now and then I get to go first.
Half of Leviathan's body was covered with blood, and a cold smile was on her face. Then, slowly, the pitiful prey that she had brought down fell over.
You pierced a human. Idiot, do you still not believe in our master's magic power? Are you fucking kidding me right now? You materialized in front of this many humans?
What? What is this? What?
Kasumi and the rest were flustered. He certainly seemed to have fired his gun. However, it hadn't hit Angie. And why was the person who fired hurt instead? This is magic. Great job, Leviathan.
I'm most honored. You foolish humans who dare oppose our master, now is the time of judgment. Prostrate yourselves. Why? You shouldn't be able to bring magic into the world of humans. They shouldn't be able to see magic, and they shouldn't be able to be touched by magic. Why?
Because this is true magic.
What are you people doing? Kill! Kill!
One of the black suits who had finally come to his senses took out his gun, readied it.
Like I'd allow you the disrespect of pointing a gun barrel at our master. Die.
Those words were a requiem. The man's chest had already been pierced by Lucifer, who had become the stake of pride in an instant. Thump. With the sound of the second person falling, the black suits now realized for certain that their lives were in peril.
No, save me!
The instant one of the black suits doubled over in shock and turned on his heels to escape from that place, the stake of sloth.
Be thankful that your violence against our master will be repaid with this alone. Die.
In his right eye, a hole as big as a walnut opened, and his head split. Belphegor was sprayed with blood, and her face twisted demonically with the joy at being able to use her full power.
Oh, who's that? Who's there? Where are you?
The black suits were flustered, pointing their guns in every direction. But they didn't understand what was happening. They knew that something terrifying was coming for them from somewhere, but they didn't know where.
Dumbass, you mean he's right before your eyes. Witch's furniture is after you.
But they couldn't see. Because they didn't believe in magic, they could not see. Just as the Black Witch said, Satan was standing boldly right in front of a black suit. However, the black suit couldn't see her at all.
Huh. Did you think humans could see our forms? That they could follow us? Stupid humans. Time to pay a fool's price for forgetting you're all of magic.
What is this? What is going on?
You can't see it. Because you have no love.
Impossible! There are so many humans here, even though the magic-resisting toxin is everywhere. Why can you manifest your magic? Who are you?
A witch. And unlike you, a real one.
What? Damn it, you bitch!
As though announcing his candidacy for becoming the fourth victim, one of the black suits pointed his gun at Angie. And the trigger was... Angie glared at him coldly and simply ordered.
Die!
Next one, Satan.
Satan of Wrath, ready right here. Blackhead, you think a simple bullet could hit Angie-sama or us right now?
The stake of anger pierced and smashed the bullet fired by the black suit, and continued straight on towards the man's face.
Know your foolishness and regret in hell. Die!
With a terrible explosive sound, the upper half of the man's head was smashed. Bathed in scattered flesh and blood, Angie quietly asked one more question. Hey, Aunt Kasumi. Do you still not feel like believing in magic?
There's no way something so ridiculous could exist. I won't accept it. There's no way magic exists.
Yeah, that's right. There's no way magic exists. And I'm a witch, I would know. There's no way witches exist.
Magic exists. Witches exist.
That's right. Magic exists. Witches exist. And in this world filled with anger and sadness, it can become the key that opens the door to the world of happiness. I won't let someone like you deny that.
Oh, the key to a world of happiness lies in every person's hands. No one has any right to steal that away.
You pitiful human who cannot understand this. If there had been magic in your life, it would probably have turned out differently, becoming much more peaceful. When I think that in your entire life you were never able to meet with a true witch, I pity you. Kasumi let out a piercing scream. At the same time, two of the black suits came for me at once, thrusting their guns at my head. Like they were trying to use me as a hostage against something their eyes couldn't see. Against the Seven Sisters of Purgatory, who had now reached the level of weapons, this was completely pointless.
Damn, where are you? Keep on attacking. This bitch is dead. Show yourself.
What the hell is he saying? His guts look so tasty too. Angie-sama, leave the next one to me.
Go ahead, kill him.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy. Die.
The man's chest split and his guts poured out. This terrible way of dying threw the other man into a total panic. However, Asmodeus's form was already at his back, grasping his neck and smiling obscenely.
What a cutie. Hey, where do you want to get pierced? Angie-sama, got any ideas?
The head.
Certainly, my master. Die.
The final black suit had his head smashed by the stake of lust, and as his insides scattered, he twisted and fell. In the gruesome world where 6 people lay in a sea of blood, witch and human confronted each other. Sumidera Kasumi, I sympathize with your sad life from the bottom of my soul. I'm willing to grant you magic that can seal up that unfillable hole in your heart, if you can believe that is.
Don't be ridiculous. I will never accept something like this. Ah!
As Kasumi, who was scared out of her wits, stepped backwards, she picked up a handgun that someone had dropped. Then, shaking, she pointed it at Angie.
That's right, Kasumi. Shoot with that gun. Turn your hatred into a bullet and shoot.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you. If I don't kill you, I'll never be paid back for the life I have lived.
Yeah, kill. Pull the trigger. Take all the anger and pain from your shabby life until now. Use it all against her. If you don't, you won't be released for your pain and anguish.
Stop it, Aunt Kasumi. You mustn't listen to the Black Witch.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Because of your mother. My entire life has been a wreck.
In that case, my magic might be able to turn that life into something bright and peaceful, bit by bit, starting now. If you can believe in magic and just have a change of heart, I'll be able to open the door to a new world for you.
There's no such thing. The salvation she speaks of is obviously just a fairy tale. Your life is going to be covered with thorns until you die anyway. Let her hear that cry of agony. You can't regain anything that was lost, right, Sumadera Kasumi?
That's right, you might not be able to regain anything. However, I know you'll be able to create something new. So, Aunt Kasumi, throw that gun away. I might be able to teach you too about a world of happiness.
You know. Because your mother ran away. I was forced to marry her fiancé in her place. There's a man I swore I'd spend my life with. I was forced to break up with him. You think you understand how I felt when I was forced to be wed in your mother's place? And held by a man I barely even talked to? I wanted to kill her, but Nizan just went and died on her own. That's why I'll kill you. Otherwise, my thorn-filled life will never end.
From Kasumi's eyes, tears of passion dripped down. So pitiable. This person's tears were so clear and beautiful. But for that very reason, she hadn't been able to fully withstand her sad pain, and had been given no choice but to listen to the Black Witch's temptation. So sad. In that case, I'll at least release you, your soul, for all eternity, and free you from the bonds of resentment. That might be the only bit of charity I can give right now.
Die, Ushiromiya Angie!
Goodbye, Aunt Kasumi. Take a long rest in a quiet world.
Those are some great parting words.
I no longer feel anger or hatred for you. I just want to let your soul rest in peace. Kasumi's handgun spat fire. Slowly, that bullet continued through a world frozen to the utmost limit, aiming for Angie's forehead. Mammon.
Yeah, right here. Mammon agreed, right here.
Thanks.
Huh?
Because I met you and Sakutaro, I was able to understand everything.
Angie!
Look away, Sakutaro. Mammon, release that woman. And protect the honor of Mariage Sorcière.
Yes, prepare yourself, Sumadera Kasumi.
Even though the world was frozen, the stake of greed flashed like lightning, and had already gotten behind Kasumi.
Nothing personnel, kid. If there's any virtue in you, we'll meet again on the mountain of purgatory. Die!
The upper half of Sumadera Kasumi's head was smashed. Her cage of flesh was shattered, and she was finally released. Next is you, the Black Witch. By now, I think even the fact that you look like Aunt Ava is inexcusable to her.
If my form still looks like Ushiromiya Eva, it means you still haven't been able to forgive me inside yourself. I understand, Angie. Even you want to be released from your thorn-filled life more than anything. In that case, I thought of something interesting. I'll show you magic as well. I won't be the one to kill you.
With the worst of smiles on her face, the Black Witch changed her form into something like a black mist, or else a vast swarm of black flying insects, which began to swirl around me. Then that black mist began to gather bit by bit, shaping itself into the form of a human. What's this supposed to be? You've got at least a vague idea, don't you? It's the woman you hated and despised the most. The woman who hated and despised you the most. When the black mist cleared, over there was Aunt Ava's form, as she had been during her life. Her hands were holding a gun. Aunt Ava died.
Oh, long time no see, Angie. I've come back from hell to kill you.
Aunt Ava glared at me with a mad laugh. But I'm not that surprised. Aunt Ava was that kind of person.
I imagine my funeral came as quite a relief to you, right? I feel the same, since I'll never have to see your face again. But I had just one regret. And this is it.
Killing me? Was that your last request? How pitiful. Even after death, my aunt wasn't released from her pain.
The Black Witch's power is itself the source of my magic. Anger and hatred taught me how to work hard and persist. Completely different from this magic to escape reality that you speak of.
The magic you speak of is nothing more than stress reduction through outbursts of anger. Our magic is different. It can remake the entire world. It's in a totally different class than your wicked magic.
In that case, let's settle which is the victor right now, black or white. You see my black magic miracle? Reviving Ian after death and pointing a gun at you like this. How exactly do you intend to stop that with miracle of white magic? I've surrounded you with the magic-resisting toxin. You can't call the Seven Sisters anymore. That miracle just now won't occur again.
Having it occur despite all that is why it's called magic. Okay. Mammon, lend me your power. But Mammon didn't respond. She didn't appear. Certainly, as she'd said, the magic-resisting toxin had burned everything up, like a wasteland parched by a blazing sun. This might be a little tough.
It's useless to call out. Never again. The Seven Sisters of Purgatory will never answer.
And being able to call them even so is what makes it magic, right?
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm just gonna keep doing it until it works. It saved my life like 30 seconds ago, so like, roll the dice and all.
I don't know, I'm still not convinced you're not having a dying dream right now.
Yeah, me neither. It's quite unclear, huh?
How pitiful. So long, Angie. The few days we spent together were fun in their own way. This is goodbye. Aren't you glad? The end of the line for you has turned out to be this place.
Yeah, seriously. How thoughtful of you.
Thanks. Then this is farewell.
The barrel of the gun rose slowly so that you could see all the way down it. Then, the trigger was slowly... At that moment, the gun exploded. It wasn't that it fired. It burst. You're kidding me. In shock, inside a frozen space, Ava looked at the ruptured gun. When time melted, the fragments would probably smash into her face all at once.
Mammon of Greed. Right here. You're fucking kidding me, aren't you?
Behind Ava's back, Mammon stood. She had already penetrated the target I had given her, which was the gun. Is this enough magic for you, Aunt Ava?
Angie!
Then time melted. The fragments of the burst gun and exploding gunpowder burned her face. Letting out a shrill scream, she covered her face and rolled around. It was pitiful. Your luck was bad. This is game over, Aunt Ava. I signaled to Mammon, so that Ava would be freed quickly from the pain of her burnt face as she writhed around. Thank you, Mammon. This time I want to apologize again, and from the bottom of my heart, for calling all of you powerless on that day in the classroom. You were excellent furniture for protecting witches.
I'm the one that's grateful. I feel truly honored at being able to meet a good witch. A good master in the end, and not being able to fulfill my duty as furniture.
Mammon had understood. This would be the final job I'd give her. Mammon quietly walked up to me. Then she looked down at Ava. Aunt Ava, thanks for sticking with me for so long. This is farewell. Have a nice dream. See you in hell.
Cool.
Then the light sound of her forehead being bored into rang out. The battle of gunpowder smoke and fury, of white and black magic, ended. I get the feeling it was a long, truly a long journey, and the world slowly sank into darkness. The stars that should have been sparkling lay not in the sky, but were scattered beneath me. When I realized that the pearl and ruby made a red and white stream, I noticed that it was a vast nighttime scene spread out below. I was in the sky of that nighttime scene, neither standing nor flying, but simply floating. From nowhere in particular, I could hear a clap, clap, clap. A truly dull applause. I know. It's the one who ordered me to go on a journey. Burncastle.
Congratulations. We're contractually obligated to do this meme, so let's just get it over with.
Congratulations.
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 Everyone loves that anime.
Yeah.
Naruto Shippuden. And the Switch, Angie Beatrice. At the end of your travels, you understood everything about magic.
Yes. I now understand everything about magic. I am a witch. The last witch who inherited the magical world created by Mariage Sorcière.
No one besides you can tear Beatrice's world to pieces.
Because I know witches, I learned how to resist them. Magic is made of love and sadness and anger. No matter how cruel a witch Beatrice might have been, the source of her magic is exactly the same. And that's why I wish I could leave that world of hers alone. After all, in her eyes at least, that world is complete.
But then you would have to give up on your family.
That's right. So I don't like doing it, but I have to fight. The very reason I left on this journey to become a witch was so I could bet on the faint chance that I'd be able to take my family back someday.
Unless you kill Beatrice, only words of isolation can exist for you. As one who has traveled to billions of fragments, I guarantee it.
I understand. I can't afford to have compassion. I must make my heart a demon and tear her heart to pieces.
It's good that you're steady in that resolve. I was worried that, as another witch like her, you might grow attached and lose your will to continue.
It felt a bit hollow hearing that from a person whose face was almost always expressionless.
I take exception to that. I've got plenty of expressions.
Yeah?
You
Show
see
me
this one right now?
No.
This one is on happiness. You see this one I'm doing right now?
Okay.
This one is happiness now.
I see.
See this one I'm doing right now? I'm laughing. Can't you tell?
Burncastle, the mysterious witch who invited me on this journey. At times, I've suspected that you might have lied to me.
Why?
I am the Angie of 1998, so even if I save my family, they will only be saved for the Angie of 1986. They won't be saved for me. So I've sometimes felt like I was being deceived.
That is correct. I deceived you.
But now I'm grateful. After all, in the end, you did teach me how to get my family back.
I didn't teach you anything. If you know something, it's because you reached that mental state by yourself, as a witch. That mental state is different from my own. I personally cannot understand it, but if that is the truth, then, we're not gonna do it again. Yeah, you got it all at one time.
I'm not a player in this game, but a piece. You said that to me, right?
I did say that, yes.
Now I fully understand that role. A piece doesn't need emotions. It just has to give its all for victory's sake.
Yes, that is correct. A game requires that you each make the best possible moves, right? If your moves get distorted by hesitation or confusion, your opponent will be confused as well.
Sorry, Beatrice. But don't hate me. Ushiromiya Angie still needs her family. So I have the right to fight you, so that I can take them back. And you have the responsibility to be challenged by me to a fight. So, don't hate me. In exchange, if you do win in this game, I'll give you my blessing as well. Come on, let's go. As the piece I am, it's finally time for my true turn. Sorry, Beatrice, I won't hand Onichan over to you. The world whitened. It wasn't white. It was a gold color, as bright as can be. There was the beautiful Ushiromiya family rose garden. However, the flowers on the roses were all gold. The nectar was also gold-colored. The butterflies gathered there were gold as well. This is the Golden Land. The promised land that the witches of Mariage Sorcière had finally been guided to. There, all wishes are granted and all magic and dreams are born. In that garden of gold roses were 2, and only 2, witches. I appeared as an uninvited guest, making that atmosphere tremble with unrest. What was to them a wind of misfortune shook the golden roses. The incredibly beautiful scene formed by the golden rose petals scattered by the wind was clearly something not of this world. The 2, who had been taking a walk on a path of golden roses, noticed me and were surprised.
Angie! Beto! It's Angie! Yay!
How
Yay!
did you get
Angie
here?
time! Everyone loves Angie!
Leave us alone. I shall no longer invite anyone here. Beato spoke coldly. She seemed like a completely different person from the boldly sneering woman she once had been. She had closed off her heart and shut herself up in a world where she was alone with Maria One-chan. A world where she could always be alone with a friendly Maria One-chan, lecturing about magic while drinking tea, with no one to hurry them and nothing to hold them back. A world where not a single person who might hurt them existed. Yes, to the 2 of them, it was a small, perfect universe. Sorry, I can't have you shutting yourself up in here. We can't continue the game unless you come back. I said I'd stop because I'm tired of it. I will not return to the game again.
Beto will always be here with me. Here, we'll drink tea together and think of lots of ways to play. You can play with us too, Angie. We got like Legos and Connect 4.
Maria,
Got Monopoly.
I believe I said that mustn't happen. I am satisfied as long as I have you alone. Say that you too are satisfied as long as you have me.
Nope. Yeah. Thank you. The only person who needs me that much is you, Beto, so I'll be with you. Just us is enough.
Maria, thanks. I am grateful. Beato held Maria tight, even creating a small, warm universe between their joined arms. It was probably the birth of the smallest universe in the world. The smallest universe in the world, which a pair who needed each other could give birth to. No matter how small it was a complete world. But I had to tear it apart. Sorry, but I can't let it go like that. I came to smash this golden land of Mariage Sorcière. Why are you going to break my world? Are you saying that this world is causing anyone other than Maria and me trouble? You've left Oni-chan waiting all this time in a game you started and then abandoned without finishing. If you don't return to your seat, the contest won't end for all eternity. There is no longer a single player in that game. Battler vanished, and I did as well, coming here. That game is already over. It isn't over. You started the game, right? Take responsibility and see it through to the very end. Will you defeat Battler and give birth to the world you truly wished for? Or will you be defeated and everything swallowed up by your magic release? Take responsibility until the very end.
We don't, Angie. Beto will spend her time in this world alone with me for all eternity. And I don't need anything else as long as I have Beto. Here, all wishes are granted. Everything is here. Everyone is here. It's like Super Smash Brothers. Look for DLC pack number 11 featuring me, Maria.
Everybody else is like Pac-Man with power pellets and Sonic bouncing on springs, and then Maria just draws a creepy symbol and then actually disembowels them.
Everyone is Maria.
This golden land is made up of nothing more than the crystallization of Beatrice's and Maria One-chan's thoughts. To drag Beato out of this world, I'm going to have to destroy it. I will destroy this golden land, which must be a final, peaceful world in Beatrice's eyes. One-chan, that's wrong. This golden land is a liar. It won't grant the one wish you truly want granted.
That's not true. Anything can be granted here. Look, there's even a nice mama here.
Gold butterflies gathered behind Maria, forming into a kindly, smiling Aunt Rosa.
Toodaloo.
After smiling sweetly at me, it became golden petals and crumbled.
Here, anything can be created. Even Angie, even Battler, even George Oni-chan, even Jessica One-chan. You can summon as many as you want, and everyone is nice. You come too, Angie. Let's play together.
Sorry, One-chan.
Let's play. Let's play Umineko when they cry. Part number 48.
And what about Sakutaro? Upon hearing Sakutaro's name, One-chan looked like she was choking. Stop it. Do not speak that name. Beato's expression changed as well, and she hugged Maria, guarding her shoulders. Sakutaro's name was still taboo for One-chan. Why can't I say it? It's the name of Maria One-chan's best friend. Why won't you invite that close friend to this wonderful golden land? Why, in this golden land where any wish can be granted, is Sakutaro the only one you cannot summon?
Ooh, that's actually not the case. I got banned for streaking. No, not like that. Like, I just kept winning and they wouldn't it's a win streak.
I see.
Don't make it weird.
It's alright, Maria. You don't have to remember Sakutaro.
Sakutaro was killed by Mama.
Maria One-chan flew into a rage with a terrible expression on her face. Surprised by that voice, the butterflies throughout the garden flew up, blowing around like a typhoon of flower petals. Yes, I know. Aunt Rosa took your precious stuffed animal Sakutaro and tore him apart.
Ah!
Maria's scream became a storm that violently scattered the golden petals and leaves. It truly was a storm of gold. Stop. Stop. Why are you trying to reopen the wound in Maria's heart? Don't defile the sleep of this precious friend to both Maria and myself. In that case, why don't you revive that precious friend for her with your magic? I'd do it if I could, but that stuffed animal was an article Rosa created herself. The magical meaning of that individual object being torn apart is... Don't try to fool anyone. Why can't you revive Sakutaro? There's only one answer. It's because you aren't a real witch. I can revive him. With my magic, I can revive him as often as I want, like this.
Hi!
I could even bury this garden in Sakutaro's.
Oh, I'm gone.
Yeah, I'll bet you could with your magic. But One-chan definitely wouldn't be able to see the Sakutaros you create. You know why, right? I'll say it again. It's because you aren't a real witch.
Stop it! Why do you keep saying such mean things, Angie? Beato can use lots of magic. She's a wonderful witch. She couldn't revive just Sakutaro, but she can do absolutely anything else. So I can at least do without Sakutaro.
No, One-chan, that's wrong.
Oh. Hello there, Michael.
Is there still sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
No, One-chan, that's wrong. There's nothing a witch can't do. As soon as she couldn't do that, it was clear that Beatrice wasn't a real witch.
That's wrong. It's because Sakutaro's stuffed animal vessel was something Mama made specially herself, and
that's why she can't revive him. Is Beatrice's, your magic, so inconvenient? In that case, are you saying you can revive Sakutaro? Are you saying you can do that with your magic? I can.
Oh god, that
What?
face on Beato.
Maria One-chan, I'll show you some real magic. I'll revive Sakutaro for you.
really? Even Beatrice couldn't do it, right? Really?
Yes, I can. In exchange, promise me, once I've revived Sakutaro,
Yeah.
leave this golden land. I will not permit that. This world is Maria's and mine. If Maria leaves, it'll break. The minimum number of humans it takes to create a universe is 2. Otherwise, that world is destroyed. To drag out the witch shut away in the Golden Land, I'll have to destroy this world. Yes, that's proof that you aren't a witch. A real witch can create a universe alone. The Mariage Sorcière Alliance of Witches, the very existence of this alliance proves that you aren't a witch. Rage crying Beato.
Oh, Jesus. That's a good one. Oh, that's better.
I'm not upset.
You upset?
I'm not upset.
Hey.
No, I won't hand Maria over. I hate you. Leave right now. Get out of here. Dragging everyone into a game of your own accord, then getting bored and chasing them out when your mood changes. How selfish can you be? Take a look, Beatrice, and you, Maria One-chan. This is true magic.
Will you really revive Sakutaro?
There's no way you can. This is a golden land for Maria and me alone. There is not a single spell that an outsider like you could use. As you are now, you couldn't even create a single butterfly.
Be quiet, Beto. Don't get in Angie's way.
When Maria yelled, the storm suddenly stopped, and the area returned to silence. The scene, as a massive number of golden petals that had been blown upwards quietly drifted down, was fantastical, as though a golden snow was falling. Maria, thinking about this unlikely, if only, miracle, had unconsciously joined her hands together as though praying. Beato watched Maria do this, her heart racing. If the extremely unlikely were to happen, Maria would, this world would. But it's unthinkable. Absolutely impossible. That stuffed animal, which had been the only one in the world, was torn apart and thrown away, and not a thread remained. Reviving it was certainly and absolutely impossible. This is my golden land, a world where magic that isn't mine certainly cannot exist. If you think you can do it, let's see what you've got, Ushiromiya Angie! At Beato's scream-like cry, the world lost its sound. I slowly recited the incantation for true magic. Come, try to remember Maria's close friend, Sakutaro. Try and remember what form you had. Try and remember what a lovable stuffed animal you were.
Huh?
Expressions of shock rose to both of their faces. Then, pushing Beato's elbow aside, Maria dashed forward.
Sakutaro! Sakutaro!
Then, she clung to us both. It's all right. Sakutaro isn't going to disappear.
I just got shot an email saying that they wiped it off my record, so I'm back. Bye, Maria.
Sakutaro! 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 I wanted to see you so much.
It was, without a doubt, that stuffed animal lion, Sakutaro. Its softness, its texture, its stitches, its everything. Maria had forgotten, but the instant she hugged that stuffed animal, it all came back to her vividly.
Hi, it's me. Maria, I'm home.
Sakutaro! Sakutaro! Is your body alright? Does it hurt anywhere? Even something so horrible was done to you. Are you okay?
He gets the little sound effects. Andrew revived me with magic, so I'm perfectly fine.
Actually, I hurt everywhere all the time. It's pretty fucked up.
Why did they make me feel pain?
Thank goodness, thank goodness. Welcome back, Sakutaro.
Well, I'll always be with you, Maria. Together for eternity. So, don't let go of me, okay?
Yeah, won't let go. For all eternity.
Then, still hugging Sakutaro, she looked up at me with tear-filled eyes.
Thank you, Angie. Angie's magic is amazing. Ow! Can you revive Sakutaro? A Beato could do it.
Impossible. Impossible. How? How can a human other than me use magic in my golden land? This is completely impossible. What are you so flustered about, Beatrice? This is magic, right? There's no way that's magic. This is my golden land. A world where magic that isn't mine certainly cannot exist.
Does that mean it's Beto's magic then?
And my magic was not able to revive Sakutaro.
She didn't say my magic. She just said magic was not able to revive Sakutaro. My was not written in red.
There's no way it could. That is a special stuffed animal made by Rosa for her daughter's birthday, and in the entire world, the only... See? It's magic, right? With this miracle that she couldn't possibly accept, Beato understood all of my magic. She looked at Maria and Sakutaro innocently frolicking around, looked at me, and then fell to her knees, with even her hands pressed to the ground, and cried.
Beatrice, this is really magic, right? It's magic, right? Beatrice!
Indeed, it is magic. This is real magic.
Why can Angie use magic that even Beato couldn't? Why? Why? Angie's amazing. Angie's an amazing witch. Real witch is much, much more amazing than me.
Yeah, that's right, One-chan. I am the Witch of Resurrection, Angie. There's nothing that can't be revived by me.
Amazing, incredible. Even Beato said the magic of resurrection was the hardest. Angie's incredible. Really great witch. Yeah. High five.
At that time, Maria's and Sakutaro's forms flashed gold, and the forms of the two became golden flower petals that crumbled away. As the two became a golden wind and swirled together, they left for some other peaceful place, not here. Beato had, as promised, banished Maria from the Golden Land. Goodbye, Maria One-chan, and be happy forever. Don't worry, you definitely exist in One-chan's world too. But that isn't you. Good for you, Maria. As your close friend, I celebrate this reunion from the bottom of my heart. On Beato's face was a mixture of what was probably every expression a human could muster. It was joy, anger, and sadness. Those are the only three. Kind of surprising, huh?
Yeah. Well, those are the three that result in magic anyway, from what we heard earlier.
But she said every expression a human could muster.
Okay, but I'm just
That's all
pointing
three
out.
of them.
Okay.
That's all three. That's the source of magic, isn't it? Without love, without sadness, without anger, magic cannot be seen. The ground shook, an earthquake. It gradually summoned greater and greater fissures, and began to tear Beatrice's final paradise apart. Golden butterflies fluttered about, trying to escape, but there was nowhere to escape to. And Beatrice was the same. The Golden Land began to crumble away. The earth crumbled downward like a floor falling through, and Beatrice was sucked into the depths of a jet-black darkness. Then she was mercilessly slammed against a jet-black floor. It was a dimly lit smoking room. There was no door to exit by, and while there was a window, it let no light into Beatrice's shadowy smoking room. Even though Beatrice was moaning from the pain of being slammed against that cold, hard floor, she shakily rose to her feet. There was a seat there, and the game table, still just as it had been when she left it. The game board also remained in the same state that Beato had left it in. That's your seat. Sit. So, this is the only seat for me to sit in? Beato put a hand against her own seat and laughed sadly. Win or lose, that's all you've been given. A tie during the process of reaching that point will probably be permitted. However, you won't be allowed to suspend the game and throw it away. Will you win and survive or lose and disappear? Until one of those two things happens, you will not be permitted to rise from that chair. That should be your only duty as the host of a witch's game, as the Golden Witch, Beatrice. Laughing weakly, Beato sat in that seat. Then she rested her elbows and covered her face with both hands, showing off a smile with nothing but her mouth. Not permitted to escape an unwinnable game. Then, very well. Why don't I repeat this until I lose? Quit being so faint-hearted. Win. Use the best moves you have. You started this game. You have a duty to make the best moves possible. Give all that indecisive fooling around a rest. At that time, there was a violent sound. Beato felt a cold, pathetic sensation on her leg. Gotcha! I finally got you, hey, Beato! Oh, great Lady Lambda Delta, is it? To think that you're still here. Beato's foot was caught in an ice-cold steel shackle, tying her to the chair she sat in. She would no longer be able to escape from this seat. You won't be able to escape anymore, got it? I can be more persistent than I look. Surprised? It's more surprising that you don't realize how persistent you look. You are not permitted to leave early or suspend this game. You'll fight for all eternity in order to win, okay? You don't want to lose, do you? You want a little peek at the kind of wonderful world you'll be thrown into if you lose? Don't worry. You can win, because I, the great Lady Lambda Delta, will be looking after you constantly, until you win for all eternity. But even if I wish to fight, there is no opponent seated across from me, correct?
Don't worry. I found Battler. He was passed out outside of Denny's. He kept muttering the words Grand Slam over and over, and he seemed to be covered in a big, a slurry, a mixture of both maple syrup and what can only be described as special sauce. You're gonna keep narrating?
Oh, right. When Burncastle appeared and clapped her hands, Battler appeared from the sky and plopped into the opposite chair. Battler's eyes were slightly open, but there was no sparkle in them, almost like a doll's. Without one of the pillars that established his soul, he had fallen into the depths of darkness, Denny's, and had been drifting about all this time.
I stand by my interpretation.
Because he lost his battle with the witch, he had to stay inside the Denny's for 24 hours, and he could only take 1 hour off for each Grand Slam he ate. It was an impossible challenge no human could defeat. He should have scattered and disappeared like mist.
Level number 7 was the hardest one.
Burncastle had managed to scrape him together. It's incredible that she managed to bring him back into a human form. He was mostly bacon by then. However, even though his flesh had returned, his soul had not. It had been blown away by Beatrice after having its existence denied. It wouldn't come back easily.
Battler won't run from this fight either. Not until he defeats you. Just because your chances of winning are shrinking doesn't mean you'll be permitted the inelegance of abandoning everything and running. Even he doesn't want that. Isn't that right, Ushiromiya Battler?
Battler didn't answer. His heart was still dead. His eyes wavered slightly at the question, but he couldn't answer.
Chessboard.
Battler, get a hold of yourself. You are here. Now. And the enemy is before your eyes. Fight. Fight to win. Battler lazily repeated that, speaking incoherently.
Battler, hold yourself. You are here. I'm not going to actually do that.
He'd come back. It was just like before. The wound he bore on his soul was no small thing. That was only natural. Beatrice had woven her red, and he had been denied. He had learned that the mother he'd respected was not his birth mother, and he didn't know who he was. He was not Ushiromiya Battler. Don't talk stupid. You are Ushiromiya Battler, no one else. No matter who acknowledges that or denies that, make sure you believe it yourself. After all, you're the only one who can create your own world. Don't lose the world where you're Ushiromiya Battler.
Then, who am I? I'm not my mom's child, right? Where's I born from?
Battler asked that question as his eyes, which still hadn't regained their sparkle, stared lazily up at the ceiling. Of course, she answered right away. Yes, that's right. Beato proclaimed it with the red truth, so I'll proclaim it too. Ushiromiya Battler is not Ushiromiya Asumu's son. In that case, he's not qualified to be the opponent in my game, correct? Can we, yeet him again?
No! Not the yeet dimension!
Beatrice, repeat it. Ushiromiya Battler is not Ushiromiya Kinzo's grandchild.
Yeah, see, that one was easy though. Okay.
Yeah, but not for Battler.
Okay, not for Battler, yeah, but still.
As Beato wrinkled her forehead, a painful-looking smile rose to her face. So you refuse to repeat it. Beato proclaimed two red truths. Battler is not Asumu's son, and no one except Kinzo's grandchild Battler is qualified to be her opponent. The following theory will allow Battler to be accepted without creating any contradictions. Here's my blue truth. Listen to it. The one qualified to be Beato's opponent is Kinzo's grandchild, Ushiromiya Battler, and whether you're Asumu's son or not isn't a problem. Thus, even if you aren't Asumu's son, you can still be Kinzo's grandchild, as long as you're Rudolph's son. It was just a silly word game, wasn't it?
Your blue truth is valid. Beato, your counter-argument with the red truth. We're already getting back in this, huh? Like old times. Alright. If you cannot counter it with the red, Battler's qualifications as an opponent will stand unchallenged, much like me standing over here without anything fucking interesting to do. I'm going back to Denny's.
Boredom is the only poison that can kill me. Wait, boredom and Denny's are the only two poisons that can kill me. Battler was still out of it. He still couldn't really understand what she was saying for him. But even so, his spirit was starting to come back, bit by bit.
Then, who am I?
Get a hold of yourself. You are Ushiromiya Battler. Yeah, maybe Mother Asumu didn't give birth to you, but so what? That doesn't change in the slightest the fact that she was a mother to you, right? For example, what is Ushiromiya Angie to you? You might not share the same blood, but she's still your little sister, right? It's not about blood, it's about bonds, right?
Umineko and They Cry said found family.
Yeah.
That's right. Even though we don't share the same blood, Angie is my little sister.
Say it in red. Say that Angie is your little sister.
Angie is my little sister. Haha, I could say it!
She hugged Battler, who was still out of it and slumped in his chair, strongly from behind. So much that it hurt.
Oh!
I don't know why Mother Asumu wasn't your birth mother, But still, up until today, and even now, you believe that she's your mother, right? In this world, there are plenty of people without even a mother, without even a family. Did Mother Asumu ever let you feel lonely? Never, right? Don't throw your peaceful family away so easily. Your family bonds have gotten too thin after leaving your family for 6 years. You have to feel those family bonds much, much more strongly. Remember, for Mother Asumu's sake as well, don't lose your love over a foolish witch's rant like this.
You're right. Mom was always on my side. Where is this place? It's dark and I want to go home. Oh no, it's worse than Denny's. Where's all my family?
The light still hadn't returned to Battler's eyes, but tears appeared. Your little sister is waiting at home for you to come back. If even you don't come back, she'll be all alone forever. For your little sister's sake, please win this witch's game.
Angie, my little sister. I still don't get it. Why do I have to keep repeating this incomprehensible, cruel game with Beato? I've had enough.
In that case, settle this game quickly and go back home. Ushiromiya Battler, how long are you gonna play around in a place like this? Your little sister is waiting for you to come home. That's right. Battler had been caught up in this strange game before he even knew it. And still unable to understand why he was fighting, he had been constantly sucked into the witch's pace, played with, and made to fight. That should have been his most simple and first question, because he didn't understand that he had lost his purpose in fighting. That's why my voice won't reach Battler's ears. Instead of a vague purpose like winning against the witch, or because he couldn't forgive her, he has to be aware of a purpose for which he must win.
That's right. I want to go home. I want to go home to Dad and to Mom and to Angie. I've had enough of this place. I've had enough of witches. I've had enough of games and murders. I've had enough.
Battler's soul is starting to come back.
But he can't quite reach.
You've had enough, right? Then fight so that you can return to your family, destroy Beatrice, and go home.
No. I've had enough of witches. Enough of Beato, enough of everything. And even you're probably just another one of the witch's allies. I could be betrayed again at any time. You can't trust anything. You can't trust any words that aren't in red. Don't bother me. Don't bother me.
Battler's soul howled. She hugged his head from behind, strong enough that it hurt. Come home quickly, Oni-chan. Don't leave me all alone.
What? Who are you?
It's me. It's Angie. Dad and Mom and Oni-chan, no one came home. I'm so lonely. I beg you, come home quickly.
Angie. You were Angie?
That's right, I'm Angie. The Ushiromiya Angie of a world where no one comes home. My entire family never came home from Rokkenjima that day. The witch before your eyes stole away my whole family. Even you, Oni-chan. Only you can finish her, Oni-chan. Finish her! Then take your family back. And then come home to me.
Beato did that to my family?
As she says, I will not run away or hide from it. I stole Ushiromiya Angie's family away from her. Battler is my toy. His father and mother are both my toys.
That really sad look she had before she went to Beato face.
Yeah.
Oh.
The incarnation of that one crying face, troll face mask
Yep,
over it. Image.
Exactly.
I won't give them back to you. You may continue to wander all alone forever, awaiting the return of a family that will never come back. From Angie's arms that held him the painful, sad days that had been experienced by his lonely little sister flowed into Battler. Because he'd been playing around in a place like this, his little sister had been left all by herself, had been forced to endure all that pain.
Angie, damn it, what am I doing? Thank you, Angie. Oni-chan has been forgetting something important this whole time.
Battler tried to turn around, but Angie was hanging onto his head with an incredible force, so he couldn't turn back. Was it sweat? Hot drops were splashing on the nape of Battler's neck. What they were, he knew from holding Angie's arm that clung to him, because it stained Battler's hand, his fingers, red.
Didn't they say at some point that if she wanted to join in as an observer of the game, she couldn't let him know that she was Angie?
Yep.
Blood. Angie? Are you okay? Hey!
It dripped and splashed. He didn't know what was going on. Battler didn't know because he couldn't turn around, but the hot drops that stained his entire back were surely blood. In order to save you, Oni-chan, in order to come here, there was a single rule I had to follow. This is it. Letting you, Oni-chan, know that I was Angie. It was so hard. Even though Oni-chan was right before my eyes, I couldn't even say that. As long as I followed this rule, I should have been able to stay by Oni-chan's side for all eternity. I should have been able to play in the game against the witch for eternity with Oni-chan. But that's no good. Oni-chan, you have to come back. Your sister's waiting for you at home. That person isn't me. But this way, your sister will be saved.
Angie! Angie! There's so much blood! So much! I just regained internality and all of a sudden there's blood everywhere!
Yeah, that
This
usually
is almost
happens
as bad as the Teddies!
That usually happens when I regain internality too, bro. It's okay. He wanted to turn around, but Angie was gripping his head too tightly. However, judging by the blood that was pouring out and Angie's pained breathing, he realized that something seriously wrong was happening to her right now. Don't worry. I am only a piece, you know. In chess, they have this move called a sacrifice.
Sakura, what? Who cares about chess? Let's get you some first aid quickly! Let go for a second, Angie!
A sacrifice is an abandoned piece. For a tactical gain, you intentionally accept a loss and let a piece go. In chess, the ultimate goal is victory. So if it can bring you to victory in the end, there's nothing wrong with sacrificing a few individual pieces. Angie had coolly made a decision. She had been taught over and over again that she was a piece, not a player. In order to act like a piece and save Battler, right now, she would have to become a sacrificial piece herself. Battler had to know. His purpose in this witch's game couldn't be something as abstract as finishing off the witch. He had to win the game, release himself, and bring his family back home. Why? Because he had family, a little sister who was waiting for him to come home. A being was created so that Ushiromiya Angie's voice could reach you. That's me, Angie Beatrice. I'll sacrifice the piece I am to give to you the will to fight, to give you purpose. My purpose isn't to play with you in a witch's game for all eternity. I came to bring you Ushiromiya Angie's mourning and sadness. That is my unshakable purpose.
Angie! Angie! Ah!
The white, thin arm that held Battler became pale and transparent, almost like wax. And even so, the fresh blood stained it so cruelly. I will disappear now, but Oni-chan, fight with all you've got, and I'm sure you'll come back to me. I'll be waiting. Always. I'd planned on helping you out a lot more than this, but I couldn't do anything. Sorry.
Don't worry about that. You taught me, didn't you? You taught me why I have to win. And that I've got to win for certain and come back to you. What am I doing? Lazing about in a place like this? Yeah, I won't play around anymore. 'Cause I'll come back. I'll come home. I'll definitely come home. Bring you a souvenir, I promise.
I don't need one, so promise me one thing.
What? I'll promise you anything.
In a second, I'm going to let go of this hand. It hurt, didn't it? Sorry, I held it so tightly. I'm okay, so you don't have to turn around. So in the end, let me see the coolest part of you, Oni-chan. Rise from your seat, point at the witch before your eyes, and announce that the game will start up again. Angie's hand slid and disappeared behind me. There were bloody fingerprints left behind, blurred by her fingernails. Wait, this is Battler now?
Yep.
But I turned around right away to take care of Angie's wounds.
Angie! Angie!
Ah, crap. And you even promised that you wouldn't turn around.
Angie? Where?
Behind my chair, it was as though about 10 watermelons packed with blood had been smashed, and there was a sticky, pulpy mountain. And around that mountain of blood and minced meat, the clothes and shoes Angie had been wearing lay crumpled, as though they'd been taken off and thrown away. As though just a human's insides had been pulverized and tossed there like scrap. As though Angie, who had been standing there until a second ago, had been crushed.
Angie! Where's Angie? Where did Angie disappear to? Hey! Where did Angie go?
The two young-looking witches said nothing, and just silently looked at the mountain of blood and meat and clothes. But I didn't want to accept it. I definitely didn't want to accept it. I was right in front of you. I was watching the whole time, watching what happened to Angie behind you.
Do you know? Where did Angie go?
While she still lived, pinch by pinch, massive red-hot pincers tore chunks of flesh the size of a thumb off her and threw them away. I was watching. I saw as countless cruel tools, burned red-hot in the witch's furnace, approached Angie from behind, and one bit at a time pecked at her, twisted her, ripped chunks off her, and tore her to pieces. Angie should be proud. In order to share some last words with her brother, she stopped herself from gasping at that pain until the very end. As if something like that could have happened, but on top of that mountain of flesh and clothes, what had fallen there was, without a doubt, what she had been wearing on her head, those pink jeweled hair ornaments. To be honest, I'd thought they were a bit too childish for her and didn't suit her, so I remembered them well. Why did Angie wear such cheap hair ornaments all the time? No, the thought that this is Angie couldn't possibly be...
You're pretty blunt, Beato. Much like this one right here.
Without love, it cannot be toked.
You could have waited till I was done.
Battler didn't see it, so you could have just said she turned into butterflies and flew away or something.
You guys also saw what happened. You saw Angie get torn into little bits. You were watching, and yet you stayed so calm the whole time.
Without answering, Burned Castle, Lambda Delta, and Beatrice stared at me. Some in pity, others in derision, watching me. Since she'd called herself Gretel, and after what had happened with Virgilia in the last game, I'd thought she might be Beato's underling. And I'd been wary of her, not trusting her even though she was an ally. And now, after learning that it truly was Angie, without even being allowed to see her face, I turn around and find something like this. Why does it matter? All this about your little sister.
What the fuck did you just say?
After all, you'll never return from this place for all eternity anyway. Whatever happens to your little sister in a world where you don't come home has nothing to do with you. As long as you play here, the Angies of countless worlds will live in isolation, and the same pain of her final moments just now will be forced upon her, spread over a period of more than a decade. However, that is of no importance, correct? It cannot be seen by you from here. You cannot observe it. An unobservable fact cannot be proven, except by the red truth. Therefore, your anxiety over Angie's misfortune after this may be needless. She might, surprisingly, be able to live a casual life without ever having to work, Thanks to Rudolph's inheritance, right? That's a lie. From Angie's arm, every point of that sad future world had poured into me in an instant. All because I keep on lazing about forever and playing in a place like this. I never thought about anyone but myself. I must defeat her. I'll take back my family, back to where Angie's waiting, and come home as soon as I can. Because even as I hang around with the witch like this, Angie's heart continues to be torn to bits by sadness.
Angie, is this what you wanted me to see?
I turned towards the cruel witch who had indifferently spoken of Angie's brutal last moments, and slowly, yet with all my might, pointed.
Beatrice.
Indeed.
Resume this game. I won't run away anymore, and I won't let you escape.
Bring it on. I can no longer escape or hide. Let us decide this between you and me for good. One shall win. One shall lose and be destroyed. No other resolution can exist.
I'll win. No matter how long it takes, I'll definitely smash you. There aren't going to be any more compromises, interruptions, or losses by default in this contest. I will not run away. I won't let you get away. Try and defeat me with everything you've got. There's absolutely no need for stupid tricks and deceit, for intermingling and acting friendly. You and I are enemies. I have to settle this as soon as possible and bring my family back to Angie.
Unwavering resolve, certain willpower. The certain willpower of a human becomes certain magical power. That leads to a miracle and promises that it shall be so. Yes, this is a promised, certain miracle. Are my chances at victory not even 1 in a billion? No. Shall it be certainly impossible without any fragment of a miracle? Before I knew it, a cold, stiff chain had bound my other leg without a sound, tying me to the chair. All that's left is to either be killed and lose to Babbler, or resist and continue in an endless tie for all eternity. Or perhaps I should say it's to continue tying until I've prepared my heart for death. Either way, I must fight to lose and nothing more. I have already been bound by the chains of eternity, and Battler won't let me escape either. Should I pathetically beg his forgiveness? Should I beg for compassion by appealing to his pitying heart? Should I forget appearances and prostrate myself? Because of the chains, even that choice will not be granted me. Checkmate. This is a perfect stranglehold. However, I am the Golden Witch, Beatrice, the Demon Lord of Gold who reigns in the Golden Land. Even in a fight to lose, there's an attitude fitting for me, and I have the right to adorn my death in a manner suited to me. I am no different. I'll make you accept the existence of my magic, and the door to the Golden Land will open on this island. You shall become the guest of honor at that first tea party. Everyone besides you has gathered already, you see? Because the honored guest's arrival has been delayed, the tea party cannot begin. Your father, mother, cousins, and everyone else are getting tired of waiting for your arrival.
Sure, that's just perfect. That's just fucking perfect. What the hell is magic? What the hell are witches? I'm done playing with you. Here we go, Beatrice.
Come as hard as you can.
What?
You heard me.
What?
For there will be no compromise, interruptions, or losing by default. One shall win, and one shall be destroyed. If you have no desire to lose, then you must defeat me, kill me. However, I won't be killed so easily. Until you can prepare a fitting end for me, I can resist over and over again. Can you do that? No, you probably can't. You surely can. Come on, come and kill me. Is it that hard? Let's go with the usual. As if I'd be killed, even if I can't win. I can at least harass you enough to stop you from snatching victory, right? Oh, that's a good look on your face. Try and kill me. Try and kill me, Ushiromiya Battler. Is this the end of the chapter?
Is that the end? Is that the end? Wait, we just sat down to do a regular recording session. Is that the end? Holy fuck! Well, we haven't gotten our score yet, so it can't.
Yeah. Whoa. No score.
Prepared a gift for you in commemoration of your stake and find these new features on the screen. Excellent! Well, join us next time. Because we'll be doing the tea parties, and we'll be going over the tips.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy fuck.
To think we finally made it to the halfway point of this game.
It's fucking wild.
Holy shit.
Fucking wild.
We'll see you next time, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.